News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A little reminder about who's in charge up there. We definitely have a little bit of old man winter going on in Missoula right now. Some snow. There's been an upgrade to winter storm warning. And also, there is a vast power outage in Missoula. Nearly 4,000 people without power. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Wednesday, May 17th, May 17th, 2017. Right now, the sky is cloudy. We've had a mixture of rain and snow, depending upon where you are. It's 34 degrees right now. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. 214-4292. Nearly 4,000 people are without power this morning in Missoula, according to Northwestern Energy's Auenland outage map. The outage is centered around the intersection of Brooks and Russell. Northwestern Energy estimates power should be restored between 7:30 and 8 o'clock this morning. There's another outage affecting about 500 people over in the Thompson Falls area. Power there is expected to be restored here in about a half an hour. No reasons were given for either outage, but much of western Montana is currently under that winter storm warning. Let's get that right now. The National Weather Service Office Missoula has upgraded its advisory for snow in the last few hours. Here's meteorologist Luke Robinson.
Currently here at the airport, we have 3/4 mile visibility with moderate snow. Over the past hour and 10 minutes, we've picked up around an inch of heavy wet snow, and for that reason, we have upgraded the current winter weather advisories to warnings for the Missoula-Bitterroot Valley, and the main threat for that will be for tree damage due to the heavy wet snow.
Robinson said the warning will stay in effect until later this morning.
We'll probably see the current snow rates for the next couple hours. I'd say by 8 o'clock this morning, 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, we should start to see that mixing back with rain, and we'll start to see the snow melting.
Lost Trail and Lolo passes are snow-covered at this time, while Lookout Pass is experiencing heavy rain. Getting to yesterday's top story, Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Gukin became deeply involved in Tuesday's I-90 shootout after his department was asked to investigate the death of Broadwater County Sheriff's Deputy Mason Moore. Moore, a father of 3, was shot and killed early Tuesday morning after stopping a vehicle driven by 61-year-old Lord Barris and his son, 38-year-old Marshall Barris.
We're assisting DCI with the investigations. We have detectives on scene. Secondly, we're helping with the scene security with our deputies. We're also relieving the Broadwater County deputies and helping cover their county. Our coroner's office is doing the death investigation, and we are currently transporting the deputy to Billings for an autopsy.
Gutkin said Broadwater County Sheriff Wynn Meehan held a meeting with his staff after Deputy Moore was shot and killed.
Sheriff went and had a meeting with his staff and his people prior to us escorting the deputy to Billings. So, yeah, I think sometimes a smaller department, it hits home, and it could even be worse than in a larger department.
A procession of Montana law enforcement vehicles escorted the body of slain Deputy Moore to the morgue at St. Vincent Healthcare in Billings for an autopsy. The procession arrived in Billings yesterday about 2:30 p.m. Firefighters raised a large American flag from a ladder truck as the procession moved up North 27th Street. Moore was shot about 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday during a traffic stop near Three Forks. The Montana Department of Criminal Investigation provided the following statement from Broadwater County Sheriff Meehan, quote, "This is a tremendously sad day for all of us here in Broadwater County. It's difficult to adequately describe how devastating it feels to lose one of our own in the line of duty. Our deputy died protecting citizens of our county, and displayed remarkable courage until the very end. His actions will never be forgotten," end quote. In a related story, the Montana Department of Criminal Investigation is handling the investigation into the murder of Deputy Mason Moore, as well as the multiple crime scenes resulting from a high-speed chase that took the suspects across the state from Three Forks to just outside Missoula. Here's investigator Brian Lockerbie.
Part of our role is to be an independent agency to look at this from the outside in and assess it. And as you can imagine, this is a pretty dynamic environment when we're crossing multiple counties, multiple jurisdictions. You know, any death is tragic, but when you have a law enforcement officer involved, it gets even more complicated because we have the emotions of the fellow officers that were involved in the incident.
Lockerbie details some of the reasons why the DCI took over the investigation.
We have quite a bit of experienced investigators To give you an example, I have 35 years in law enforcement, and I'm one of the young guys within this agency. A lot of these investigators do, homicide investigations, a lot of major case investigations every day.
38-year-old Marshall Barris is in St. Patrick Hospital after being gravely wounded in an exchange of gunfire with law enforcement, while his father, Lloyd, is in the Missoula County Jail held without bond for deliberate homicide. He'll be appearing in Missoula Justice Court later today. About 5 o'clock Monday afternoon, Missoula police got a call from a neighbor of a woman who claimed she had recently been attacked by her husband in their residence in the 2500 block of Great Northern Avenue. Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
She described an argument with her husband that escalated into violence, where she did suffer minor injuries. She reported that he had grabbed her and began to hit her multiple times in the face, slammed her against some kitchen cabinets, and actually threw her down onto the floor.
According to the woman's report, the violence continued to escalate and a weapon was drawn.
26-year-old Sean Duffield was taken into custody for charges related to the disturbance. That included aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. Female did describe that he retrieved a knife from the kitchen and held it up to the point that she thought he was going to hurt her with it.
Police say the woman had injuries but refused medical treatment. Duffield was also charged with a misdemeanor for tampering with evidence as he reportedly took the victim's cell phone during the incident. Home Base Montana President Andy Halloran said yesterday morning that despite the collapsing joists visible from the interior of the Missoula Mercantile Pharmacy building, the structure will be saved and become a part of the Residence Inn by Marriott, as originally planned. He described the damage to the east wall of the building.
As our team was working on an adjacent portion towards the east, a column on the east side collapsed, which took with it 3 or 4 floor and ceiling joists on the east side.
Halloran said the plan all along was to remove the east wall, which he said was largely gone anyway, despite the photos that seemed to show the building ready to collapse.
The floor systems that you see in those images really buckled only 3 or 4 feet into the building itself, so the rest of it is intact in the current condition. So thankfully, very little damage to the building itself, and certainly no further damage on any of the south or north or west wall.
Halloran said the cleanup at the site continues, and the concern over the pharmacy has not delayed the project itself. And finally, Montana Commissioner of Political Practices Jonathan Modell has left office after 4 years in which he and his staff cleared a backlog of campaign complaints, rewrote campaign finance rules, and brought court cases against 9 Republican primary candidates. Modell is handing over the commissioner's job to former Democratic lawmaker Jeff Mangan of Great Falls. Mangan will be the first commissioner this decade to be appointed and confirmed to a full 6-year term. Our News Talk time now, 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Look for a wintry mix of rain and snow today with our high temperatures warming into the low 40s. Showers expected early this evening with overnight lows in the upper 30s, mostly sunny on Thursday with highs near 60. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.